Coming up on ONTV Update, we take a look at an inspirational story from a student with a difficult background and how he is trying to use his college major to create a brighter tomorrow for himself and others.
From the BMC studio at Onondaga Community College, this is ONTV Update.
Good afternoon and welcome to ONTV Update. This is Friday, March 19th. I'm Rosa Galavati. A big accomplishment such as getting into college is one way to show that your past doesn't always define you. I got the opportunity to sit down, talk to, and learn from a student that is on his way to earning a psychology degree. Andromache, or as his friends call him, Andy DeVito, is a psychology major at Onondaga Community College. His life is an example of a person's negative past being turned into a positive situation in the future.
I chose my major because I've always had a bit of a background in all things related to either trauma or mental health. I've just got a lot of history with things like that, and I've always been good at it and handling it and figuring it all out for myself.
When Andromache was trying to figure out what major he wanted to pursue, psychology just seemed like something that he would be good at. It also sounded like a subject that would be really fun and enjoyable for many years. Andy's friends think that he will do a great job helping people work through their problems.
Andy would be really good at giving advice and helping people become happier and more functional human beings into society.
Andromache has learned that psychology is all about figuring out what's not working in the brain and how to make it work better, because the brain is the most complex puzzle we'll ever get.
And there's so many incredible things that the brain does, and it's so important that you know what each part does, what each part contributes to, because every single part of the brain in some way affects how we behave and how we interact. And it's just so cool to me.
Andromache is excited about all of the new and interesting things he will get to learn in his classes. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, over 3 million people work in a psychology field. Andromache isn't sure where he wants to work in the future, whether it be in a psychiatric hospital or a courtroom, but he does know that his biggest goal is to help whoever he can. Do you want to talk about mental health and help end the stigma around it in an environment where other students are actually supportive? You can join the Psychology Club. The Onondaga Community College Psychology Club is ready to accept new members. They're hosting many events that encourage students to prioritize mental health in their lives. They have meetings on Microsoft Teams on Thursdays at 12:30 p.m. To join the meetings, go to Teams, click Join or Create Team, then click Psychology Club. The Psychology Club's goals are to help students become responsible, build new friendships, and take care of themselves. Full-time and part-time students who pay the recreation and wellness fee in their tuition can attend the on-campus YMCA in the SRC Arena. For an additional $10, students may also get a membership to other YMCA locations in Central New York. The campus YMCA is open 5:30 a.m. through 8 p.m. with a break at 2 p.m. on weekdays. It's open 7 a.m. through 3 p.m. on Saturday and 8 a.m. through 2 p.m. on Sunday. Earlier this week, the CDC has stated that you will be able to gather together in groups indoors without masks 2 weeks after receiving the vaccine. This is great news for anyone with an underlying condition who is able to get the vaccine now. This includes anyone with autism or any other kind of learning disability. So if you're someone who fits in this category, you should look into getting it sooner rather than later. Later in the show, we will take a look at how the COVID-19 pandemic caused many things in our daily lives to be put on hold, including sports. After the break, we will take a look at how meteorology is being taught at Onondaga Community College and how it has changed over the years.
The vast majority of the programs that we have are getting students ready to have skills that will transfer right into being able to go to work.
It's exciting to see that, they're definitely the jobs are in demand for these different occupations.
Most of this stuff is going to be located right here in Whitney Hall. Certainly applied technology and all our labs are located over here in Whitney Hall. You can just reach out to our school office directly.
I love working at the library. I've been a librarian for many, many years. Love helping students. I love the moment, especially here at OCC, when I'm assisting a student who might be doing research and they're just like, say, I never knew about that. I never knew you could do that. And that's such a great moment because we have such a huge and wonderful amount of resources available to students that many of them don't really know how to access.
Finals are coming up fast, and Coulter Library is ready. We have lots of new computers, several new study rooms, and extended hours for finals review sessions. If you're stressed about that final exam or frantically working to finish that term paper, look no further. Take advantage of our subject resources and prepare for the end of a successful semester here at Coulter Library.
I think OCC is a great choice for students, especially if they're not exactly sure what they want to do. I developed the Geospatial Science and Technology program as a way to introduce students to that world that I discovered, learning how to make maps with a computer, collecting data and analyzing that. And we still have a lot of industry connections, and that's always good for trying to find internships or even full-time employment.
I think working with the students and hearing the stories of how successful students are, and lately I've got a lot of, being able to write letters of recommendations to students that are going on to a next program, and hearing about what they've done at their next school or in their next career move. I think that's hearing the success stories and really working with the students and getting to know the students. Sometimes my office is a revolving door because students want to come in and talk, which is great. So that's why I'm here.
Living at OCC is a great experience academically and socially. One of my first impressions of OCC is that it was a bigger than normal community college, more like a private school. All the academic resources are within my fingertips. I can go to the library, do homework outside of the dorms, and then come back and have a nice social life without being stressed. Smaller class size allows me to interact with a professor more. OCC also has a great education with an affordable tuition for anybody of any age.
Welcome back to ONTV Update. I'm Rosa Galavati, and now we have Matthew here to tell us about the upcoming weekend's weather and how does it look?
Thanks, Rosa. And Syracuse is finally going to feel a bit like spring in the next few days. According to weather.com, today is going to be partly sunny with a high of 36 degrees and with a low of 23. This upcoming weekend is going to feel a lot like spring with a temperature on Saturday of a high of 54 and a low of 28. That is a little bit above average for this time of year, which is typically in the mid to high 40s, but it's going to be partly sunny. Sunday it's going to warm up quite a bit into the mid-60s with the low dipping into the low 30s. Next week is going to warm up into the low 60s with the lows dipping into the mid-30s to the low 40s. Onondaga Community College has many different classes and departments, but the chemistry and physical science departments are best known for their meteorology class. These classes are very informative for students that want to become meteorologists. Meteorology Professor Martin Martino has been at Onondaga Community College for 17 years. He teaches meteorology in meteorology lab, and he has covered many different topics.
This change we've seen in weather, as far as studying it, is the ability to learn and understand smaller scale weather. The large scale weather, the weather patterns that we normally see with the jet stream and with large weather systems and hurricanes.
They have been pretty good at it for the last 30 plus years, but they have gotten better at it, and what people study more and more is the finer details. In Syracuse, the weather can change on a day-to-day basis, like the next few days where it will feel like spring, but that won't last.
Having said that, the severity of those hurricanes is very much associated with climate change, because as the oceans are warming up due to climate change, that is giving more energy to those hurricanes, and those hurricanes are going to last longer.
You won't know until you collect the data and you have done weather studies, and then you can simulate severe weather.
Microbursts are such a small-scale event coming out of a severe storm. They first started studying them in the 1980s because they were downing aircraft left and right, especially the one in Dallas, Fort Worth Airport, that killed 160 people.
Some people, even meteorologists, where it takes a disaster where people die to fix the problem. If you want more information about taking the meteorology class in the upcoming semester, you can contact Martin Martino at martinoom@occ.edu. He's the chair of the physical chemistry department, and he can help you if you want to take other classes that are in that department.
If you need more school supplies, OCC has a bookstore in the Whitney building just for you. It has all standards: pens, folders, calculators, flash drives, etc. For those who are feeling school pride, they also have OCC merchandise, such as water bottles, sweaters, and hoodies. And if you are not feeling well, the bookstore also sells over-the-counter cold medicine. When we come back, we'll talk about how the pandemic has affected athletes on campus. Not being able to play without risking getting sick is very unmotivating, so stick around to see what can be done later on ONTV Update.
To my knowledge, every single person that's teaching in the program is still presently actively working in the field. Every single one of these professors is an expert in their craft. If it wasn't for this department, if it wasn't for people like Mark Ballard or Mike Kaminsky or Magic on the radio side of things, 0 Point and myself, I wouldn't be where I am today.
In the sound recording program, I was asked to develop 4 courses and teach those 4 courses based in studio recording. So learning the basics of microphones and interface boxes and computer software and cabling and all that, and the process of just tracking musical performances and then mixing them. It gives those students who are interested in sound a little bit more of a broader education in how we can apply sound recording.
My classes aren't too bad. As a business major, they're kind of difficult, so I can always come here and get some help, or if I have any questions about my student profile or anything about that, there's always help here. They took me through like the list of options of courses that I could choose, and I picked the best ones that I think were suited for me. Honestly, without OCC and the help of the Student Center, I just wouldn't really be where I am today.
The School of Art, Design, Media, and Music is the best school.
So there's architecture and interior design. There is broadcast media and communications. There is art, photography, and music and sound recording.
We're a little different. We're very artistic, we're very creative.
A lot of the school is about advising, transfer, career building, and community, like having a place for people to go.
My favorite part about teaching criminal justice is the conversations I end up in with my students. We are talking about tough stuff, justice and fairness. What's different here than other places? The commitment of the faculty and staff in leading students towards their goals.
So Career Services does a variety of different things. We help students from day one, so exploring options within majors or careers, we help with that. We help with guiding them anything that they need throughout their schooling here, so helping them get job shadows and informational interviews, internships, volunteer experience, and then ultimately helping them for whatever's after OCC.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ONTV Update. I'm Sebastian Goodness, and this is your sports update. Ever since the pandemic started, many things have shut down, including sports games. I asked a couple of athletes how that has affected them.
It's a huge risk for anyone to even be close to one another, something that makes sports nearly impossible. Aspiring soccer player Mohamed El Zabi wishes he can play right now.
I was going to play in the soccer team in the college, but like it's the pandemic is going on, so there's no soccer team or there's no games going on. So it's canceled. So that's what I mean. It's not work. I mean, like it's not hard to play in this pandemic.
With COVID prevention measures like social distancing and masks, stuff like soccer and basketball are harder to play, which is probably why some athletes don't feel motivated to play. This is especially true for athletes like Desarius Watkins, who misses playing for the team.
They canceled our basketball season and delayed all the sports. I'll say probably but track. Everything's been delayed or canceled, so just stop sports in general.
There's no telling when sports on campus can be played again, but in the meantime, athletes should stay safe and keep practicing. New players will have to wait until they can play on the fields or the court, but constant exercise will help them stay active in these times. This weekend marks the start of the March Madness basketball tournament issued by CBS and the NCAA. Colgate took on Arkansas earlier today, and Arkansas beat them by the score of 85-68. Arkansas advances to the play of the winner of the 7th-seeded Florida and 10th-seeded Virginia Tech this weekend. The Sweet 16 games start next weekend on Saturday afternoon at 2 and Sunday afternoon at 1, followed by the Elite Eight on Monday night at 7 and Tuesday night at 6. On the topic of basketball, last week Syracuse faced Virginia University in a basketball game ending on a very close match. Syracuse lost with a score of 69-72. However, they made their stride in the first half when standing 39 points against. These are running for Syracuse. Coach Boeheim's son Buddy led the team's offense with a career high of 31 points, the most points a Syracuse player earned in an ACC tournament game. Well, I may not be much of a sports person, and I assume you're not either, but it looks like Syracuse isn't doing good so far.
Yeah, hopefully things will start looking up for Syracuse. Thanks, Sebastian. Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at the kinds of difficulties that OCC professors have faced in the wake of COVID-19. Even though the pandemic has made online learning the new normal, it hasn't come naturally to every OCC professor. We'll learn more about one professor's struggles up next on ONTV Update.
Look at what's happened here with COVID. Look at how you've seen other schools where infection rates have been very high, and here they've been extremely low. And it's because the students here are really dedicated to doing the right thing and to learn and work toward that degree and work toward a better life through higher education. I think a community college is the perfect answer to everyone's educational needs.
One thing that I love about my job is the people here at OCC. Students definitely need assistance with career exploration, and that's one of our expertise. So making sure that the students know what they want to do in any way that we can support it. I love working with the students. I love working with the faculty and staff. I like that every day is a little bit different.
Recently, the college has developed a new sound recording program, and we partnered with the music department, and 4 of the courses in that program are offered through the BNC program. BMC 225 and 226 focus on live sound reinforcement and recording. So a lot of students who are interested in if they have a band or if they perform live, what's the best way to get their sound to be optimized for their audience?
This can be in any major. They can have disabilities. I have students who do have disabilities and work with another department in addition to me. I have students who are veterans. I have students that work full-time. And I'm just a source of assistance for them to get them through the college process, that's all.
Everybody like on the edge of their seats yelling. People want to see you do good. People actually coming out to watch me play. So it definitely give me an incentive to play hard, get some buckets. I guess it's one of the top JUCOs in the country. This is a good program to get your name out there. I like to go by like the sky is the limit. Like you could do anything you put your mind to. Like I didn't really know I was gonna break a record. I just kind of figured like if I was to put all in the work in, you could do anything that you put your mind to. If you're gonna work hard or something, just give it your all.
Because we're a two-year school, you're going to play right away. As a freshman, you're going to get pretty good parts, and as a sophomore, you're going to have all the best stuff. We have a lot of non-majors involved, and they can play in ensembles, they can take lessons, they can take music classes. They really could do all the music major things. There are no barriers to that. We have great equipment, we have great facilities. It's a lot of fun to be here. There's a lot of energy, and we do a lot of performing, which makes everybody kind of energetic and working towards those goals together, and it makes it a lot of fun.
On March 22nd, the Learning Center is holding a Discover Your Learning Style event. It will be held on Microsoft Teams. You will learn how to unlock new strategies that will help you keep more information in your memory. There is no cost for this event. On March 23rd, CCH partner AmeriQ will be here to answer any question that a student may have about banking. They will be in Gordon Student Center at Table 9 in the Gordon hallway from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. This event is free. On March 24th, CCH partner Planned Parenthood is going to be in the Gordon Student Center at Table number 9. They help in making appointments with outside agencies. They also provide referrals and resources related to reproductive health care. Welcome back to ONTV Update. I'm Rosa Galavati. OCC professors have faced challenges in the past few semesters due to the need for online learning in the wake of the pandemic. Sean O'Brien went to Mawini Hall to learn more.
Last year, the COVID-19 pandemic rocked the nation, affecting many aspects of everyday life. OCC professors were forced to teach their classes online. For communication professor Crystal Etzel, this was a difficult change to make.
I had many technical problems when I started teaching online. I couldn't get Blackboard to work at my home. I eventually was given permission to come into the college to use the computers here. I was emailing back and forth to the people over in IT on a daily basis.
These technical hiccups haven't only affected Professor Etzel. They've been wide-reaching across campus. Roger Mirabito, OCC's Executive Director of Communications, views these struggles as one of our strengths.
I think one of the great things that this pandemic has taught us is we've all learned how to better work with technology, especially for older people like myself who are dealing with things like Teams and Zoom.
Teams and Zoom are just two ways of doing things. Professors can also use Blackboard for their assignments. Even though Professor Etzel isn't a fan of online teaching, vaccine developments give her hope for the future.
If these vaccinations work the way vaccinations always have, and once you get them, then there's herd immunity, I do have hope that we will go back to no social distancing, no masks, and everybody in a classroom.
It's a hope shared by many. From Mawini Hall, Sean O'Brien, ONTV Update.
Students are automatically given accounts for Microsoft Teams and Blackboard. These sites can be accessed through the Current Student tab on the OCC website homepage. Students who have classes through Zoom will need to create a new account. The time for midterms are coming, so if you feel like you need help in one of your classes, don't be afraid to ask. The Learning Center in Gordon has many tutors ready to help. You just need to book an appointment. They are open Monday through Thursday from 8:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Fridays from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. To make an appointment, go to sunyocc.edu/learning-center/make-appointment. The rest is self-explanatory from there. Matthew is back now with the weekend weather forecast. Matthew, how's it look?
It's going to look for any good for any outdoor activity that you may have planned for the upcoming weekend. Today was a good start to the upcoming weekend with a temperature of 36 and of 36 and a low of 24. To start out on Saturday, it will feel like spring with a high of 54 and a low of 28. But as the weekend ends, it will warm up into the mid-60s with a low dipping into the high 20s and low 30s. This weekend, you may be able to ditch that winter coat.
Thank you for joining us this Friday. Don't forget, watch us next week. This has been ONTV Update. Have a great weekend.